Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to week 21 of our weekly update. First off, I want to thank everybody for always joining us, and if you do like our videos, would love for you to subscribe if you haven't yet, and to give a like and share. It means a lot. We just want to try and continue to reach out to more people to get them some information on a weekly basis. So first off, we're going to be talking about the Bank of Canada statement or announcement that just came out, and then we'll talk about the monthly numbers that just came out as well, and then we'll go into our weekly numbers of the downtown surrounding areas, Don Mills, Leaside, Yonge and Eglinton areas, the Durham and Durham area. Yes. So first off, we will talk about the Bank of Canada announcement. They are holding the rates, so this is good-ish news overall. The rates aren't going up, so that's the good part, that it's being held. They are holding the rates because, again, we talked about the inflation that was coming down from last week. So those are all the signs there. Obviously, things are still really tight for people that have to remortgage. So they are talking about are they going to bring down the rates. Hopefully, the rates will be coming down in late spring, early summer next year, because if the rates continue to even be held for the next little while, it will be pretty tight for people that are refinancing their mortgage in the next year or two. So there are talks about bringing the rates down by 150 points by the end of next year, and hopefully a little bit more, to around 2.753%. So that is the assumption, the assumed goal by some people, by some economists. So I think that will be a good point to be at, because we're not going to get back to the low rates that we have seen in the past. And so I think that will be the kind of the new normal, but they don't want to bring down the rates too fast, because if they do, then inflation can go back up, and then at that point, then they may hold and or raise the rates again. So they are kind of being a little bit overly cautious, which is what they have done with the rate hikes. I think they've done a little bit too much, but so now they are at a point where the GDP has been pretty flat for the last almost a year pretty much. So I think that's a sign that we do need to kind of get these rates kind of lowered. And just for the normal day consumers, right? It's the cost of living, especially in Toronto, is pretty high. So I think that will help, but we don't want to bring it down too fast, because then the housing market will kind of skyrocket. I think things will be pretty busy overall once they do that, but we don't want it to get out of control like it has in the past. Okay, so and then we'll talk about some monthly numbers that just came out regarding TREB. We are seeing that things are, picking up, in the sense that, or sorry, I shouldn't say picking up. Things are pretty flat overall, which is normal. Is what I'm picking up from the numbers, is what I meant to say. So we'll kind of go over what has been going on year over year and month over month, and then we'll get into our weekly stuff. So the TREB numbers, we're seeing the average price pretty flat overall. It has come down almost 4% compared to October. So we're looking at November numbers right now. So it's come down 4% from October. Number of sales has come down 6% year over year, and almost 9% month over month. So we are seeing that slowdown in sales, which is normal for this time of the year. I think it's a little bit earlier, especially for active listings, which we'll get to that in a little bit. Actually, let's go to that now. Yeah, active listings, it's showing that year over year it's up almost 40%, because we did get a little bit more of a rush in September and October. People that were trying to get into the market from the slowdown. We had a really slowdown in August, so the numbers really jumped up a lot compared to August. And also last year was when it was like the height of the interest rates, so I think everybody was just trying to kind of panic and get their listings up before the slowdown that happened, and then it kind of peaked up again once they did hold the rates in February. But so it was a little bit more of a rush last year, because we are looking at almost a 15% decrease month over month of active listings. So we are continuing to see, as I mentioned before, a lot of terminations, people that were kind of hopeful, that didn't like kind of necessarily need to sell right now. So I think we will see an uptick in the spring market for those people that are starting to take their listings off the market, because we've seen about, I think, 5 weeks so of continuing of active listings coming down a little bit. So that's interesting there. So the 40% that you're going to see in the news is like, whoa, there's a lot of active listings, but it's down actually 15% month over month. So just to keep that in mind there. And then we'll kind of look at the prices for the detached. Overall, we are seeing a pretty flat year over year, down percent just over 3%. This is all for the GTA. And then in the 905 area, pretty flat month over month and year over year. So we're not seeing big numbers there. In the 416, we did see a year over year of 3.5% and down almost 6% month over month. So you're seeing the detached in the 416 really kind of more so getting a little bit of a hit there, which is understandable. You know, people, it's just a higher price range. People that have the money to be able to afford the rates and such, but not many people have that, right? For the semis, we are seeing 2% increase year over year and almost 4% decrease year over year for the semis in the GTA. Again, more so flat overall in the 905 areas, and pretty flat year over year, 2%, and then almost 5% decrease for semis in the 416 area. So we are seeing a little bit more of a hit in the price for the 416 area. I think because obviously, like, I think a lot more people are purchasing in the 416. So when it's high, it goes up. When it's slow, it goes down. You know, that's just the state of the market and the name of the game at the end of the day. So for the townhomes, we are seeing year over year just under 2% decrease, and then almost 5% decrease in all of the GTA. And it was mainly in the, again, 905 is pretty flat year or month over month, just over 4% decrease, and then year over year for the 416 almost 4%, and then just over 5% in the 416. So we are seeing pretty much all of the freeholds have a decrease, more so in the 416 area. And then the interesting thing is that we are seeing things in the condo market pretty flat. I think because we do have a lot more listings in the condo market, as we've talked about, just a lot more investors that are just trying to get their listings off, and it's a range of pricing, right? So you get the higher end that kind of make things pretty equal overall for how the price ranges are moving, because it's pretty flat in the year over year and the month over month for the GTA, and we're actually seeing an increase of 6% year over year in the 905 and 4% increase in the 905 for the condo market. So I think we are seeing people kind of using, if they have some money, then they're actually going a little bit outside of the city to try and capture some of the possible deals, even though prices are still going up. But they do see that you know, the market in the GTA is expanding, as everybody cannot be in the 416 downtown area because it's just not enough space at the end of the day. So we are seeing a lot more people kind of expand into the 905 area. And in the 416 area, we are seeing it pretty flat across the board, 1% year over year and month over month. And that's at $720,000, the price range, right? Average price. And then we are seeing a little bit of a decrease in the months of inventory. Again, just as we see the active listings are coming down. So we were at 4.2, I think, last month, and now we're at under 4%. So we are kind of getting back into, we're just staying in the nice balanced market. This is still technically a seller's market, but with the state of the market that we've had in the past, this is what we would consider a balanced market, because we are seeing new listings, which is a good, interesting number. Again, we saw 16% year over year increase, right? So as again mentioned last year, I think a lot of people just really tried to push to try and get their listings out before prices went like down or really went or crashed essentially, but we didn't see that, right? We're pretty much at a nice balanced level for the last year and a bit, which is understandable for the state of our market and interest rates and how high it has gone in the past, right? So we did see month over month, we saw new listings down 26%. So a lot of people are just holding off and just wanting to bring their listings out maybe in the springtime. So I do think it's going to be an interesting market in the springtime. We will see a little bit more listings there. And then especially if the interest rates do go down, then that's going to be an interesting figure there. So again, we're just talking about sales. Fun fact for the sales is that we are expected, Trebs is saying that they're expected to have less than 70,000 sales, probably close to like 66,000, maybe 67,000 sales for the whole year. This will be the lowest since 2001. And the interesting thing is, for the agents out there, there were only 17,000 agents in 2001, going after just lower than 70,000 sales. And now we're in the same boat for the sales, but we have over 70,000 agents. So those are a lot more people fighting for these deals. So if you are an agent, you really gotta, this is your time, I think, to really churn, to try and figure out how you can make 2024 your year. All right, so just a little fun factor there. And then we'll just kind of just quickly get into our weekly. You can see the stats in the blog post here. The link is in our comment area. So please check that out for a more in-depth chart for those numbers there. For the downtown surrounding areas, we're seeing obviously active listings coming down as we talked about, and then just continuing to come down week over week. We are still seeing a decent amount of sales for the freehold side, pretty flat overall. Everything seems pretty flat over there. For the condo side, we are seeing a little bit less sales, from 72 to 54, but again, condos have status certificate clause, finance clauses, so it could take up to almost 2 weeks before it firms up. So I do think that the number kind of fluctuates a little bit sometimes, but I do think it's pretty flat overall. There are still buyers out there. I have a few buyers. It is a kind of a great opportunity for some buyers if they can get in at a lower price. I mean, it's all relative, the price is a little bit higher, interest rates were lower, so your payments were this, and then now prices are a little bit lower, rates are a little bit higher, and your payments are still the same. So, I mean, it could be a little bit of a good opportunity at the end of the day just to get in. For the Don Mills area, we are seeing less active listings, so months of inventory is down all across the board, but we're seeing prices go up. But I mean, in the Don Mills area, we do have some pretty high-end homes here, so I wouldn't look at the price too much. We'll kind of look at the long-term play at the end of the day, which is in the charts below here within the blog. So days on market pretty flat, understandable. Things are taking about a month to sell for the freehold side, and then there's only one sale in the condo, so nothing too comparable overall, but less active listings. In the lease side area, we are seeing prices pretty flat. Again, active listings down, sales pretty flat, same amount of sales as last week, so it's pretty consistent. So we are seeing, it's not a massive amount, but we're seeing pretty consistent. I think things will start to pick up again as we talked about it in the springtime. Months of inventory down. For the condo side, active listings down just a little bit, sales flat, months of inventory down. And then in the derm, we did see a lot of active listings come down. I think it was almost 200 active listings on the freehold side in the last 2 weeks. So, and they've been pretty high overall. So it's interesting to see those listings come down pretty dramatically. I think that's the biggest shift from the GTA. Prices down a little bit. Sold firms are down quite a bit from 111 to 67. So we are seeing a slowdown there. I think the condo market is what's kind of keeping things afloat out in the 905 Durham area, as we see a little bit less of active listings and then pretty flat sold firms. And then why we're seeing active listings come down too is for the terminations. So there are a decent amount of terminations, especially in the downtown core. We saw almost 200 terminations, but that does not mean all of them are waiting to possibly relist in the spring. Some of them are being relisted. We're seeing that in a couple of the showings that I'm doing for some buyers, that they are relisting at a lower price. So people that do need to sell are kind of figuring out and hopefully understanding that you're not going to get the same price from before. You are going to have to sell at a lower price, and that's just the state of the market. So yeah, I was seeing a decent amount of terminations across the board. Okay, so that's everything there. We'll keep you updated with more information on our weekly basis. If there's any additional information that you would like for your home type and or area, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, this was a little bit of a longer one, but we went through a ton of stuff there. So really appreciate you if you got this far. I don't think you have, but if you have, really appreciate you. All right, have a great one. We'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.